What's up, guys? Sorry, I accidentally clicked the wrong button and started on the wrong channel. I'll have to delete that. But how's it going, everybody? Hope you all are doing well and had a good day. I'm going to take it again, kind of the same way that we did last night. We're going to review the morning plan, and we're going to see how we did as far as execution goes. Things we could have done right or better, things we could have done differently. Take a look at tomorrow, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'm going to kind of keep this format for a little bit until I get back in the kind of swing of doing the shows, and then we'll kind of branch out from there. I appreciate you guys hanging out. If you are going to hang out and watch this, if you don't mind leaving a like and subscribing, it means a lot. Helps the channel grow, lets me know to keep kind of pushing this kind of stuff. So you guys are the best. With that, let's kick our opening, and then let's start this review. So if you don't know, per the last show, we have a Discord, which I've mentioned before. Also, the T3 room that I trade in. I post generally what I'm looking at in the morning, depending on the day. I have different things that I'm looking at. I talk about them in a Zoom call right before the market opens, and I do that every single day. To kind of give an idea, I'll usually set alerts sometimes to my charts based on levels that I post. But I do that, and so right now we're just going to review some of those things. I've got it on another screen, but that screen is white and it's hard to see. So if I'm looking up to the side, I'm looking at Discord. The first name we had on this morning was Netflix. I'm really not sure if you can see these, but the Netflix notes. Netflix, I'm watching for follow through to the downside. I was looking at the hourly 200. It was right on top of us, right about 432 in the pre-market, and that's also was a pivot low from Friday. If Netflix failed to get above that as the market opened, I thought you could look for a sell-off to about 419.01 and then 412.98 if things were really weak. And if you hold up, I thought you would see build out a bear flag or give a two-wave corrective higher into 436 and 440 if the market moved higher. And if that moved higher, I'll show you what I was thinking there and why I was thinking that. So one, we opened up right at your hourly, or this is your 2-minute 200, which was also right on top of you. So when we're opening up right there, this name's always directly on the list. You also had this previous pivot from Friday. I basically took this whole down move. I could have adjusted this and played less aggressive. This probably would have been the better one, hindsight being 2020, to pick a target off of, because this is a main move and then you have a secondary slow leg, and I might have mentioned that the other day, but because you kind of had a completion of this move here. You could have also done this and said the 167 was going to hit if you failed to get back above this. Couple ways to draw that move. Either way, we weren't too far off on our initial sell-off, 419.19, so about 10 or what, 18 cents off or so if you're selling on the way down. That hit pretty close to pretty close. I did not play it. I wish I did. It was the name I wanted to do the most, but for some reason I think I was distracted with some other names and I didn't take it. But you can see how we closed with the 2-minute 200 right above us. We had a 5-minute way above us. The hourly, I think, was what I was looking at. Yeah, no, it was all up here at 32. So any initial failure to get higher to me was a good look to go short. We sold off at the open right near the target, bounced up, and then kind of the market, I don't think we really was selling off super hard. We kind of just grinded higher and held basically a bear flag or a possible reversal into tomorrow. So it wasn't a horrible look. It didn't play out how I wanted it to. I really wanted the name to set up on a quick little bounce into the close and then short it. That's why I didn't take it. Now that I'm looking at it, is it just went straight down. Netflix can be really hard to play. A short through 423 would have been good. I was watching on the 2-minute, the 1-minute. I just didn't take it. Is what it is. I think the idea was solid. The look was solid. Didn't play it perfectly. Netflix can be hard, and if I don't really get the setup I want, I don't trade it with any type of size or conviction. So that was the idea for the upside with these anchored VWAPs. for the pops into what did I say, 36 to 40. 36 was this, you could see this overhead here from the sell-off. I didn't think we were going to reclaim that today. I didn't think there was any way we were going to get above that. And then also looking at the, I think 5-minute 200 at the open was going to be around there too by the time it caught up. So I think I just thought you could get somewhere between, this was the open, so about 35. So I kind of put a wide range. So I thought Netflix would come into this range and then roll over if it did pop and come back down, and then build out a little bit more before deciding what they were going to do, what I was going to do tomorrow. So we'll see. It might be on watch tomorrow. Kind of depends. You did have a little bit of a dip and a bounce, and then an explosion tomorrow. So if we were to open up anywhere in this range between 27 and 28 tomorrow, or even as high as 30, just looking at the chart now, I'd be looking for a bounce into 38 to 40. Find that 15-minute 200, hourly 200 for that, just a possible. But it really does need to get through that $29 tomorrow if you want that kind of bounce back. And there's some overhead resistance. If you look left, this almost looks like if you come up into this $31 area that you could fail hard here. So it's going to be on watch for me, especially if you happen to open up at 31 and you can't get above it. My notes will say look for a short, and then we'll see if we can fail, because I mean, this is definitely resistance now. This is where you bounced last time and then we cut through it. So this for me now is there's some key resistance here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. The next name I had on my watch list was Microsoft. And granted, I miss names and sometimes I just don't get a chance to post stuff. And if you guys have questions, you can type it out and I'll take a look at it. Microsoft, I said, I got to get a Twitter and start posting this. Probably my favorite name for a snapback. Thinking about earnings that are happening tomorrow. Looking for a pop through 347 for move to 351. If it goes as high as 354, would look for it to top out and roll over and create a range for the rest of the week. If we can't get above 347 early, look for 338.50. So at the beginning, actually, I want to note that I said I would be surprised. I would not be surprised if we see an inside day today in most names. So I had low conviction, very low conviction today. The reason I liked this for a possible snapback, and I'll be watching it tomorrow, is this obvious candle here on the hourly. It set up, gapped up. Let's see. We set up, we closed, we gapped up, we sold off, we came in higher, and we basically just chopped around all day. Just an inside day. Consolidation, we're getting tight. I'm watching this tomorrow. It has earnings tomorrow night. You could get a move into that. My levels will roughly be the same. I think messed up on this one. There was one name I messed up on that I was trading. It might have been Meta. We'll look at it when we get there, because I failed to mention a level because I didn't think it would matter. I think it might have been this one. Yeah, 42. So Microsoft bounced here, and I was looking at it short because I failed to mention this. So sorry if you guys were looking at this coming into this previous support at 42.17. Several pivots here, including the top of this range. I failed to kind of take note of that, and because of that, I think I took a small loss in this. I was looking for follow through to the downside to actually come into 38, 39, just thinking we were going to retest lower. If I would have saw this here, I didn't for whatever reason market. I knew it was there from the other day. I might have been able to kind of, if I took like a $200 loss there or something like that, I might have been able to avoid that. But be that as it may, it was fine. Took one there and then left it. It came up and just consolidated for the rest of the day. The bounce, there's some anchored VWAPs on top of you. When you look at the 50, when you look it up here, earnings are going to matter to this. I thought about taking calls, but I'm not going to. I'll see tomorrow. I'll be watching it early. I think there's a chance this can play out either to the upside or the downside. Obviously, it's kind of a dumb thing to say, but looking for a possible move to 350, and I would do something like this if I was looking at it to the upside. And say you bounced, you held the 50% retracement on a bounce here, came into 38, then held, pushed above it, and our second pullback was higher than the first, so you have higher pivot low. You have a lot of overhead, so this name could be difficult, but I could still see a bounce and a move into $48 tomorrow, and I might be watching that for a $3-4 move in the morning if we open up flat on the downside. I mean, 42, and then kind of the same levels that I had earlier today. So we'll see. It'll be interesting with earnings tomorrow, what they want to do with that. It might just be a momentum one. Haven't thought too much about it, but I'll be watching it. Tesla was the one that made the money today. I left. My kid had an ear infection, so for those of y'all who are trading with me, I tried to give my thoughts on this. I thought it was going to hold up and break out. I am sorry I had to leave. He was crying and pulling on his ear, so I ended up having to take him to the doctor. Made my money on this one. I had to leave somewhere around here, 10:44 or so, as we started breaking down. I had taken a long here, and then ended up getting out, break even on the second half, or here too, and made a little bit, and then got stopped out and had to go. I said watch for a higher pivot low, and I thought this was going to take out higher. My notes in the morning were as follows. My idea, a lot of support around 250 and 242. They might try and test that level early, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to hold it up, talking about 250, I believe. If we flush Friday's lows, I'll look for a short into 250, then go from there. If we catch a bid at the open, I'll look for 265 and 271 on the bounce. So we opened up. I said there was a lot of support at 250. I don't know if there was anything else. We didn't actually drop much. So this was the bottom. We needed to cut this low here at 2. I need to start posting some of this short triggers. So we held this previous 254.31. We held it at the open and bounced. I took this 15-minute breakout, and we made a little bit of money there into the highs. I think that's where I got some of my day back at. But if you look at it, it held up beautifully and went to, I think this would be the winner, quote unquote, of the day. As far as looking at the targets, looking a bit at the open 265, what were my targets? 265 and 271. 271 is this previous pivot, along with a anchored VWAP that were both lining up. And I was looking for that to come into there. It came in at 269, which was probably, looking at the open, that was the 5-minute 200, thinking it was going to come up. That's also this kind of previous double bottom before we sold off, right in that area. So I was looking for it to make a move there. If it broke out and held up, if I wouldn't have had to leave, I would have stayed in this name and traded it, especially after you broke 262 later in the day. You held up, came in, and pushed higher. So that idea, I think, worked. The plan there worked. We held up. This was the main focus. I do think I was sucked in a little bit, and I traded too much of the small time frames. I did too many small scalps. I think I should have been able to zoom out, and I think my failure today was I didn't zoom out enough and realize what was happening, that we really held. We're coming back up. I left before this, so I didn't see this higher pivot, and then a take out of the 2-minute 200. That would have gotten me very bullish. For sure, I would have been back in it. What are you going to do? I mean, what are you going to say? Doesn't really matter. I hope you guys were here to catch that. Sorry I wasn't here to talk through it. And now we're flagging out. So what I'm looking for tomorrow is just a hold of basically the 2-minute 200. 5-minute 200 to see if these two pivots at 67.50 can hold first thing in the morning. If this holds, if you look left where I'm clicking, you can see the top of a lot of these bars. So let's see if this holds tomorrow. If so, you could get this kind of two-wave. You could kind of push a little bit higher. We're flagging, bull flagging. Let's see if it holds. As long as 65 holds, I'm looking for a long. So 65.85 holds, I'll look for a long in the 76 or so tomorrow. I'm not positive. I'm going to look at it tomorrow and see where we're at. I'll take some measurements and mess around with my stuff before I look at anything. But mid-70s would be a guess tomorrow. We dipped lower. We didn't, buyers came in, pushed us higher. So I think there's a good chance that you see a little bit of a follow-through tomorrow. 73 to 76. So we'll see. I'll keep my eyes on it. If we lose it and sell off hard, I would probably sell in the 56 would be my guess. Just because then you're just probably going to be range bound in here until FOMC. Remember, this is FOMC week, so I don't have anything that's super high conviction. Tomorrow is going to be low conviction. I almost expect it to fail a breakout and be an inside day tomorrow, to be honest with you. I don't have a ton of confidence in anything going into tomorrow. My tier size will be 1/5 to 1/4 of my normal size. The week starts for me on Wednesday. Let's look at the next one. We have one more name, possibly two, I think. Meta, if we pop through 296.70, I think you'll see 302 on a long, and then look for it to top out between 304. Or I just said between 304, I don't know why, but about 304. 288 is the target if we sell off through 293.30. I'm looking for 288. So I was looking for 288 on a short. We hit 288.40. Well, we hit 288.42. Close. I think 288 is probably just the bottom of this candle. Close to it. So 288.50 or so would have been I think I was typing with only a few minutes, but either way I was looking for that. We did fail to get higher, so if you look at where we opened up, what I was looking at here is we were up here at the top. So when I'm looking at something pre-market, the market's about to open, what am I doing? I'm looking at past levels. So we had a little bit of a bounce here, yet this is the end of Friday. We pulled in, now we're opening up at the top of the range. So what's going to happen instantly? I should know if I'm right or wrong on my idea. We're either going to break out and we're going to make a move higher, or we're going to sell off. Well, we failed to break out, and instead we had an inside 5-minute bar. We kind of went sideways for a second. You had a 2-minute 200 above you that you couldn't get through, so we couldn't get through it, we couldn't get through it, we couldn't get through it, and then we sell off. Well, where are you going to come into when you sell off? You're going to come into the bottom where you find support. So we sell off hard, we cut through everything. We get a bounce, lower pivot, so a nice lower pivot, and then we just come in lower. Your next pop into the 21 after you fail is usually a good short setup once you have an idea for a low. So I wasn't here then. Again, I had already left. But the idea off the open was, if it fails to break out, if you break out, I had some anchored VWAPs up here, and I think just a general retracement of this whole move, thinking we would get a two-wave corrective, something like, let me delete this, something like this would happen if we held up, that this would have just been a consolidation, and we could have bounced into there, probably the top of this box if the market was really strong. Sometimes on Mondays of FOMC week, you'll get a bounce, and then the Tuesday you'll get a grind. Sometimes it's the other way. So that was the idea to the long side. It obviously didn't set up. You failed to get through that 200. So if you took this one short off that idea, you did okay into the lows. And then later in the day would have been once you get that confirmation or your lower pivot high, you break the 2-minute 21. A lot of times after you get something like this, that's your reset up for a short, or it can be if you were there to see that. I wasn't there to see it. You came in at 288.50 and it didn't quite hit 288 flat. 288, I guess 30 was the low, 30 cents off. I don't think I had an exact target. I think it was just a general target based on the top of this range, thinking we were going to come in a little bit. So tomorrow, we'll see what happens here. You could get a falling wedge snapback here, back up to 97 or so, and a choppy inside day going into FOMC. That would be my guess. 300 to the upside is still possible. I don't know that you're going to be able to get through 297 tomorrow. To the downside, looking at it, if it really sells off, I don't think it's going to. If it gaps down below 288 and can't catch a bid, you'll probably come in at 277, 280. I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't think so. I don't know. It could happen, but we'll see. You're at the bottom of this measured move. I expect this to kind of build out a little bit more before we do anything. So Meta might not even be on the list tomorrow. Just depends on where we open. But that was the idea. It did work per se, is that you broke down at the open, and if you were following that, the whole target on a sell-off, if we break, basically you could have just put 293.30 as a trigger. 293, I don't even know where that might have been, a 15-minute. Where did I get that trigger? 293.30. It was this. Basically, if you lose this, like I was all the way up here. I think when I wrote this, the pre-market, we were down a little bit lower. We popped up in the pre-market and then sold off, if I remember. But when I wrote the notes, I think we were flatter. So basically, you could have taken a short in the 288, made a few points at the open, or a failure, the 2-minute 200. We all know to look for that one, that you can't get through it. So interesting one there. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this and the way that I post them. And you don't just have to say good, like if there are things to add to them. I know that there are ways I can explain it better because I don't think I explain it perfectly. But last name here, if there are ways that I could do it or make it easier for you guys to play it, let me know so I can actually kind of put it together in a way that's actually helpful for, execution on the strategies, as opposed to just, I am just giving general levels that I'm looking at and I'm executing off of it. That doesn't mean you guys can. Although I will say too at the same time, these are just ideas and things that I'm giving you and typing to help. Like I do it anyway for myself, and I put in alerts on my charts because of this. But if you guys, hopefully this helps you look through things, come up with your own levels, your own ideas, back test them at night, look at things that work and that don't work, what could happen, and then develop something in the morning like, oh, hey, this is happening. Oh, yeah, my plan said to do this, and then kind of execute off of it. So in the video, I typed out, I said if we trigger short through 444.50, which is right here, basically just looking for follow through, I think, to the downside, I would look for 37. That did not come in. I did short Nvidia at the open, and I sold some. I was basically looking for this gap fill. So if you look left, my face is in the way of the chart. I was just looking for, if you lose this, I assumed there was a chance we would come in and fill that gap to the downside, at least enough 40, and then down here in like 36, 37, I think was what I was looking for. That didn't happen. We kind of held up. It did come in some, but not a lot. And then 31, if it really came in, I'm looking for this whole thing to be taken out eventually. And this measured move, possibly. I'm with FOMC, I'm just not, like, if it was just a general one, I would be waiting. And if we fail to take out 450 again, I would definitely be looking for a short in this name as a swing. Granted, it's strong. You've had a corrective. We could easily pop back up and rip. You're on a little bit of an ascending channel here. So, you've got some support from this breakout at 36. So I'm not jumping in anything right now, but it's just something I'm on watch. And if I get the opportunity, it might be something that I take with low risk, because that's a pretty big move, a 20-point move to the downside. So I'm not jumping in that right now, but it's something that I'll watch. But either way, the notes on the video, that'll be a big move. So what did I say? If we trigger short through, I would need 437, then 431. That would be a big move. So need the market for that. I need the market to tank. For it to fall that much, if we hold up and pop at the open, I'm looking for 454 and then a short. 454 being, which, did we actually do that? I actually think I might have called the top in this one pre-market. I did. Congratulations. No, I didn't. Never mind. That was the day before. I didn't call anything. I'm an idiot. That was previous. That's why I said 444. If we came in here, you have a previous low, and you came back up to it and failed, came up a second time. So what I was looking for was coming back up to this range at 444. That didn't happen. Instead, we sold off into support, bounced. This makes me trust this level here a little bit more, just me talking through this. Obviously, there wasn't anything actionable here unless you just shorted at the open. A lot of the names came in, held up, grinded higher, and we grinded all day, kind of an inside day, roughly speaking, not exactly, but rough day, roughly an inside day. As far as we really failed to trend. So this makes me like this more, this box and this short, because we failed to hold it. We tried to get back in it, failed, and now now we could set up lower. So I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. It'll be on my radar tomorrow. I'll check it in the morning and see where we're at. It is a name I like short. Not enough of a spring to make me love it. Granted, though, we have some reports this week. You have names, earnings, and a lot of other stuff with FOMC. It'll be interesting to see if people are, if they're buying up into this or if they're going down. I really think Wednesday is going to be the tail of the tape. But Nvidia is one that I might like short, and if we gap up at 450 tomorrow in the pre-market, and I'll be looking for the, obviously the early bid to come in. But if you fail at the open, I'd be looking for the low 40s to come in. So it's gonna, off the top of my head, play it like that. We'll see. There's no way of knowing what's gonna hold up. Obviously, they're trying to hold it, and there's a volume node. If you look at where the volume at price is, next volume at price is like 34. So if I was just taking a bet, I'd be looking at this short this week, but I could definitely be wrong, and I'm not giving trading advice. All this is just for entertainment purposes. So when I'm wrong, we can look back and it'll be up here at 500, and you guys can be like, yeah, you're an idiot. So maybe this is just a great buying opportunity, and we're just coming back in here to get some, to just pull up some liquidity for the big banks. They're going to take it to 500. That could totally be the case. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And actually, if we came in to lower to around 420 or so, Elon's favorite number, maybe we then go up and go to 500. So we'll see. I think a lot of it depends on the Fed later this week. So that was my notes from this morning. That was what I was looking at. Very low conviction. I didn't like anything with any size. That was 1/4 the size in most of my things. I'll do doing the same thing tomorrow. I'm not looking for anything big at all. All I want is a little consistent day. Kind of get the juices flowing, get in a rhythm, feel good about myself. If I catch a nice trade, that'll be fine. There was a lot of charts I didn't get a chance to look at, so I'll look at some stuff after I get off here. Microsoft will probably be in play tomorrow. I know Google's reporting. Moderna, I said watch this before the open. We opened at the top, failed to break out like everything else, sold off into support. Moderna is just in this box. Not really much to do here. Let's see if we come down to the bottom or bounce. I haven't played this one. So I'll look at everything tomorrow. I'll jump through the different names. I think some bank names did good. I think AI came in some, but is holding up right now. I think a lot of names are just holding, and we'll see. I don't trust this market, and I'm not putting any major risk on until after Wednesday. So that's just me. You guys do what you want to and trade how you want, but I'm more than happy to share my plan. And tomorrow morning when I get on, I'll be looking at where we're at pre-market, see if there's any news, anything like that, and then really we'll just go from there. And it's going to be I don't know if it'll be an early day or if I'll be able to trade a little bit more tomorrow, hopefully a little bit more, but I don't plan on doing a lot of volume tomorrow. I don't plan on going very heavy, and I don't plan on taking a ton of trades. I might even size down and do a little bit wider stops just to see if my general overall idea works. A lot of times later in the afternoon trades seem to work a little bit more. A lot of times just waiting for the Qs and some other names to set up. I mean, look at that. If you just want to look at a tight range where we're at today. So just up and down, up and down, up and down. I think SPY actually looks a little bit better. So we'll see. If you guys don't have anything, AC tomorrow? What do you mean AC tomorrow? AMC tomorrow, please. Alright, I'll check out AMC tomorrow. I'll add that to my list. I was not watching it today. Looks like did something. You think this is going to be... This is not a name I trade. Did they do a split? Nah. See, I don't know how with the people going on strike that they're popping this name. You got riders going on strike. You got doing all that kind of stuff. We'll see what happens. I'll take a look at it in the morning. What's going on, Bronx? How you doing? I need to announce we're going to do a We're gonna do a fantasy football thing again this year in the room. For those of you who wish to join. Oh, the court told them the ape couldn't split, so they're like, let's go! Look at all that volume. Yeah, we'll see. I'll take a look at, it's like me, ape, me, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I will keep this on my watch list. I'll take a look at it some. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you as far as just looking at it from here. There's not a... There's definitely some volume that happened today. You know, you got a daily 200 on top of you. All this other stuff below you. If I was trading this name, I would love to see an inside day or it hold up somewhere in the mid-range and then it just start going and just ripping, you know. And go up to like 20 bucks or something. I would imagine $10 or so, but I'll keep an eye on it tomorrow. Yeah, it's an absolute metric ton. So I'll definitely keep an eye on AMC tomorrow. And if you guys have other names, like even in if you're in the Zoom call in the mornings, you can always hop in there really quick, throw the name out, I'll look at it, throw it in the Discord chat, I'll look at it. If stuff's moving, let me know and I'll check it out. A lot of it's hard to see. I can't look at everything, but even on shows like this. So yeah, I'll take a look for AMC tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. If you guys are here and you're still hanging out and you want to leave a like, I would appreciate it. If you're watching the video afterwards and you've watched it this long, leave a like and subscribe and all that kind of fun stuff. I don't have much else. Wanted to keep it a short show tonight. I didn't do much today. Flat-ish day, like 200, 300 green. Kept it small. That was the plan. That's the plan going into tomorrow. So unless you guys have anything else for me, I'm going to call it. I'm going to chill. I got a few things to do. So I'm going to get out, get prepped. Hopefully my kid sleeps tonight, has an ear infection. So if he can get over that, I'll sleep a lot better. Yeah, set the alerts. If you guys set alerts, I'm going to start trying to do them about 9:30 to 10 o'clock every night. Nice, you're in for the football pool. I think we're going to do paid this year, but cheap, like $5, $10 buy-in type thing, just to make sure people care, because otherwise you just get guys that don't change anything, and they do that anyway, but sometimes people care a little bit more if there's like $5, $10 on the line, at least early in the season. So we'll probably do something like that, buy-in, if you guys want to be a part of it. Nothing big, no heavy money, but something like that. So I know Kathy has talked about Microsoft too, so if that helps you guys who like this name anymore. All right, love you guys. Appreciate the support and the love. I'll see you tomorrow bright and early as we kind of get back to this fun FOMC week before we tear it up on Wednesday. You guys have a great